one hand you have the men in blue, and on Pakistan's side you have the man of the moment, that is Mohsin Naqvi himself. Why is he in the spotlight? The biggest talking point is of course the PCB chief and his feeling. He was extremely embarrassed. Remember, he first fled with the Asia Cup trophy on the 28th of September 2025, and yesterday in itself was in fact a rerun of what we witnessed in September. This time around he's seen running away, that too mid-match. Such was the egg in the face of Mohsin Naqvi that he could not even bear to stay on for moments just to add morale boost to his losing team. We'll take it up with our guests in just a bit. Who's responsible for this disastrous performance of Pakistan? All right, let's quickly go across from our guests. I'm joined in by Ritinder Singh Sodhi, who is a former Indian cricketer, also joined in by Ravi Sawant, who is a former vice president and treasurer of the BCCI, Vedam Jaishankar, who is a sports journalist. Many thanks to you, gentlemen, for joining in. Ritinder Singh Sodhi, if I could come to you first, what do you attribute this kind of behavior to? Is this just Mohsin Naqvi's problem? Is this the PCB's problem? Why should fans be so frustrated at the moment?
Pakistan has to accept they are not playing good cricket at all since ages, especially against India. They are a very vulnerable side, and if we talk about cricket, we look too good against Pakistan, and yesterday was the same case. Everybody was talking about the euphoria of India-Pakistan match, but somehow people knew that India has a great chance. If India just plays to their potential, then Pakistan will be a handy defeat, hands down. And that is what happened. And that is what has been happening since years now. And good thing is that India team, they are not getting under any sort of pressure. They are just playing good cricket, taking Pakistan as just another opponent. And yes, it was a great win, and we have a great chance to win the World Cup. But for Pakistan, they have to really come up leaps and bounds if they want to get in and really improve their cricket.
Now, I want to quickly bring you in on how India actually learns from its lessons. Do you see that same kind of learning being applicable to Pakistan, which has almost chosen to react rather emotionally, especially when it comes to Mohsin Naqvi? You look at the sacking of cricketers. We heard what the former senior cricketers also had to say, that this one shouldn't have been kept, or so the batting order was wrong, the bowling order was wrong. But is there a structural problem over here? Ravi Sawant. Mr. Sawant, can you hear me?
Okay.
Ravi Sawant?
Yes.
Right. So, my question to you is, when you compare the losses that India has witnessed in the past, there's always a learning involved over here, which is why we've been able to better the game, despite the big guns also not being present this time around. Do you think that the problem here in PCB is structural and emotional at the same time, because you only see sacking as a result of whenever there's a bad performance?
Hello, can you repeat this question?
What is the problem according to you in the structure of PCB that we are seeing such a disastrous performance?
I really would not be able to comment on the PCB structure right now, because I am not really in touch with these boards.
If you can share your observations as well.
The one thing is sure that the team is being built now. There are players like Imran Khan, your Wasim Waqar Yunus, Wasim Akram, players who played for represent Pakistan for years, and whether we could name 11 or 12 players of Pakistan by names at any time. Now the team is very new, and they are in process of building the new team. However, there are no seasoned players. There has to be combination of players, senior players and the junior players. However, I see now that there are no senior players in the Pakistan team now, and the team is very new players who are not even household names anymore.
Vedam Jaishankar, is this just a case of heartbreak or a deeper frustration within Pakistan cricket, something that's amply evident from the fans itself?
Yeah, actually, Pakistan cricket has been going on the downhill for quite some time. If you really look at history, once they were always looking for something extra to win matches, whether it was ball fixing, umpire fixing, match fixing, or even ball doctoring. So they started winning at home only because of their umpires. And then they were fixing pitches, they were fixing umpires, they were fixing everything. And then they started ball doctoring. But the entire rules changed, with neutral umpires, DRS system, and the umpires looking at the balls regularly, the cameras following the ball. So everything changed over a period of time, and Pakistan didn't have that little extra really to fall back on. In the midst of it, they changed their system. They were actually playing inter-institutional events, like, that Habib Bank versus PIA, etc., etc. When Imran Khan became the prime minister, they stopped that and they moved. Ramiz Raza was the president of Pakistan Cricket Board. They moved to interstate or inter-regional, just like we have. But then again, after the new government came in, they stopped that and tried to revert to that. By then, I think the ship had sailed because PIA was down in the dumps. Habib Bank was not doing well. A whole lot of other things happened. And they couldn't field a team really that could take on others. If you really look at the way the Indian team after the match celebrated, I mean, they were not too thrilled about beating Pakistan. Yes, they must have been happy. But if you look at the older matches, at the end of the match, they would be hugging each other and, thumping their chest and running around. Nothing like that happened. It was just like, it's another match, it's another boring event, and we got better of one of these associate nation teams. That was the kind of impression that you got when they finally beat Pakistan. And I think Pakistan wants to hype up the match against India, but they must understand that they are now the minnows. Indian cricket has gone up by leaps and bounds. Leaps and bounds. And Pakistan right now, with their current setup, with their current approach to the game, just can't seem to get into the Indian shoes.
Because it's not just about the game. They certainly are not acing it, and I'm sure you'll know that better than I do. But it's also the politics behind it. First, you say you will not play. Then you make a sharp U-turn. You bring egg in the face, not just for all of those fans, but primarily even Shehbaz Sharif. I'm sure right now they don't know where to actually dig their faces. In fact, I'm going to actually ask you all to stay with me. Let's break it down for you. How much pressure is currently mounting on Mohsin Naqvi, because at the center of the storm is Naqvi. He's the chairperson of the Pakistan Cricket Board and simultaneously Pakistan's interior minister. Pakistan Army Chief Field Marshal Asim Munir is reportedly displeased both with the defeat and with Naqvi's earlier press conference remarks in which the PCB chief invoked Munir's name while responding to questions about India and the ICC. Observers say that dragging the army chief into a cricketing dispute without prior clearance was viewed as overstepping his own boundaries. According to well-placed sources, Munir conveyed his concerns to Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif through official channels, flagging what he saw as a poor team preparation and rhetoric that unnecessarily escalated tensions. In Pakistan's civil-military dynamics, such signals do carry weight, fueling speculation about possible changes at the PCB. So Naqvi's dual role has come under renewed scrutiny after Pakistan's batting collapsed under pressure in a one-sided loss to India. Adding to these optics, Naqvi was also seen leaving the stadium midway through the match yesterday as the innings unraveled. Now, a senior opposition politician has already demanded that Naqvi's removal should happen ASAP. They are even contemplating to, in fact, move a motion against him as the chairperson of PCB and as the interior minister. He said he is in contact with other parliamentarians to move a motion against Mohsin in the next session. These are what sources are telling CNN News 18. Senior Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf leader Shireen Mazari has also directly questioned Naqvi's dual responsibility. Running the Interior Ministry and the PCB together was a bad idea from day one. This is what they are saying. So let me quickly bring in Ritinder Singh Sodhi, who continues to stay with us. So Ritinder, what is your assessment of the situation? Has there ever been a country where the Interior Minister of the nation has also been the cricketing board's chairperson?
Look, this is very debatable because we have to talk about cricket and so much was happening before the game. They will play, they won't play. And as a cricketer, if such a premier match is coming, India versus Pakistan, as a cricketer, you just want to prepare day in, day out. You sweat out in the nets because you know such a big match is coming. If we talk about Pakistan cricketers, they were not sure whether they will be playing or not. Already, their cricket seems to be in doldrums, and this uncertainty regarding they will play, they will not play. I think there was no cricket whatsoever, and all of a sudden, decision comes that they are playing and playing against mighty Indians. And yes, they were given defeat, which was well deserved because at this moment their cricket seems to be in lot of doldrums. They need to come up as we just heard from our respected journalist, because there has to be improvement. The infrastructure has to improve. The focus has to be on cricket because somehow I feel in Pakistan, the exact focus is not on cricket.
Ravi Sawant, do you think that in Pakistan the exact focus is not on cricket, and how much of a role do you think that the PCB chief right now has to play, given that many are questioning his own accountability and are now, they are also leveling allegations that perhaps he's not able to handle two meaty portfolios, one as the PCB chief and the second that as an interior minister to Pakistan? Ravi Sawant, that question is for you.
See, there are two different roles, totally two different roles. One is the political role, and one is it's a field cricket field role. So therefore, I don't think he should be able to. He should mix those two roles together in this time, and then that's the one reason that somebody spoke now, that they were not sure till last moment whether Pakistan is going to play or not play, which definitely shakes the mindsets of the players, and therefore the team has also lost that advantage of being clear in their mind that they are going to play this World Cup with the full strength.
I'm going to actually come to...
they are
right. Let me also take my next question from Vidam, but before I do that, let's also play out how the cricketing enthusiasts from the newsroom over here at CNN News 18 have decoded Mohsin Naqvi's embarrassment as the PCB chief. Listen in to what the journalists have to say.
Mohsin Naqvi, he himself left the match. That is what all of us were thinking, ki let's just switch off the TV because there's no point watching anything because India is anyway way more stronger than Pakistan.
I think Pakistan might be thinking that it was better to just boycott the match rather than playing and surrender.
Mohsin Naqvi's walkout was definitely very epic.
The video of him running away when Pakistan were 5 down, giving up on his team. Mohsin Naqvi, Tata bye-bye, थोड़े आंसू आप भी भालो.
Vidam, if I could bring you in, do you think that Mohsin Naqvi actually pulled off a blunder when he walked off midway yesterday, especially after what he did during the Asia Cup in September of last year?
See, Mohsin Naqvi did what most of the lousy politicians do. What is that? They want a piece of the action when there is success. They want to be there. But when there is failure, they want to run away. And that's exactly what he did. Now, Pakistan is not out of the World Cup. It's only lost to India. It is still in the World Cup. And it is when you're down that you need support. If you're a PCB chairman, you have to support your team. Fair enough, they've lost a crucial game. But they are still in the tournament. They still have another match to go against Namibia. He's got to be there, cajole them and encourage them, ensure they do that well, and then move on to the Super 8 and see what he can get out of them. But for him to run away, he is not going to get any respect from anybody, let alone his players. His players are also going to think the same. If they had won, then he would have been, acting as if he was the guy who set up the victory. But now that they're lost, he just slunk away. He didn't just run away, he slunk away. Just like he ran away with the Asia Cup.
Ritinder, so you heard what Vedam is saying. He's saying that he didn't just run away, he slunk away. And that in itself highlights the plight of PCB overall. When you do not have a chief who is actually standing up for his team, what happens next? Because it's not just about losing, it's about losing in the right spirit. And in the build-up itself, the kind of politics we've seen surrounded, the kind of flip-flops happen that we will not play, then you take a sharp U-turn, you even go on to make these tall claims that it was PCB that brought the ICC down to its knees. He certainly has egg in the face at the moment.
As we have been talking, Akansha, the fact is the focus is not on cricket. And you have been talking about these losses, and these losses has been consistent. They are not improving. You talk about their bowling, it seems struggling. Their fielding is not up to the mark. Batting, there have been no partnerships whatsoever. There has to be somebody like Surya Kumar Yadav, somebody like Abhishek Sharma, Ishan Kishan, the ultimate match winners, which we India have. They are struggling to get those match winners. And we talk about transition. The transition period is now so long. It is unending. We used to talk about Pakistan team of yesteryears, Wasim Akram, Waqar Yunus, Saeed Anwar. I think they were the team, the force to reckon with. But nowadays, we talk about Pakistan from last few years, from last 5 to 6 years, they're not improving at all. I think that is a worrisome sign for Pakistan cricket. But talking about India, our infrastructure is brilliant. We have so many brilliant players at the fringes. One goes, other comes. I think that is what Indian cricket is all about. We have Bumrah and so many Bumrahs waiting in Ranji trophies. I think that is where Indian cricket is improving. Fingers crossed, I think we have a great chance to win this World Cup yet again.
Absolutely, we do. But let's also talk about how fans in Pakistan have been feeling. Because many of them, in fact, have opined, as have some senior cricketers, that it was better off for Pakistan to have stayed off the field. But let's also break down these visuals for you. As you can see, one devastated fan over there breaking down in tears, literally down on his own knees. In another video that surfaced, the fan is seen smashing a cake, that too on his sister's face after this loss. What warranted that, nobody knows. Is this anger which is even justified? It seems like a horrified parent in the backdrop, but what happened exactly beats any of us. At the same time, fans breaking TV sets in frustration. That is the level of frustration for Pakistani fans, because remember, in Pakistan, cricket is not just a sport, it is a religion. Fan also losing cool, watching Pakistan's poor performance over here. As you can see, she's of course going through another meltdown, shouting, shrieking. Let me quickly go back to, in fact, Vedant on that note. Vedant, the frustration is palpable and we can't just brush it off as viral videos on social media. Is this Pakistan losing a sense of direction, as is the politics there? That's the big question everybody is now asking, because as I said, one cannot negate the fact that Mohsin Naqvi is also a political figure at the moment. Vedant.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize the question was for me. Yeah, of course, he is a politician, right out and out. And actually, politicians are not so bad. If you really look at even from the Indian point of view, you see the people who really helped Indian sports when it needed most. Somebody like NKP Salve, he brought the World Cup to India the first time. And then you had Wankhede, who was the Speaker of the Maharashtra Assembly. Thanks to him, they built that stadium in less than a year. So politicians can do a lot of good. But then they should leave cricket to people who will run the show. You can't keep changing the format. What does this PCB guy, who's an interior minister, know about cricket? Why should he interfere with who's going to play and when they're going to play, where they're going to play, and things like that? He doesn't even know what's happening. You know, politicians should look at politics, organize things, get the decisions made, but leave the running of cricket to people who know cricket, people who are good administrators, not people who meddle in things. He's a guy who's a meddler. He keeps meddling in things. We saw the way he ran away with the Asia Cup. He didn't even have a proper excuse for that, for running away with the Asia Cup instead of handing it over. And he should have realized right from the beginning nobody's going to shake his hands. And for him to expect that the Indian team would come and shake his hands was absolute crazy he was. So I think overall, when you look at it, Pakistan have not realized what each person has to do. We just saw this recent news about the Pakistan hockey team in Australia. They're not paid the hotel bills. They wouldn't allow them into the hotel, and they were hanging out on the road. So that's the background of the team. The entire sporting fraternity of Pakistan is in such a sordid mess.
Okay.
And if people don't accept them at various events, then they're going to be in deep trouble.
I'm glad you also highlighted the example of hockey, because it's all right. I'm so